Okay, so welcome to the Wednesday Team Prosperity Weekly Meeting. Today, we're going to go into what I've called exact strategies. So this is for both marketers as well as sales or educators, whatever it is that you want to call yourselves. It's how you position yourself on the front side to get the meetings that you need to create the outcomes that you're looking for. So we're right now, obviously, into summertime. Once again, to reinforce, you need to be working your business during the summer to create some immediate outcomes, but also as everyone's kind of coming back from the summer vacation into the late August, early September, they're starting. You need to be striding at that point. You do that by creating a pipeline through your activity during the summertime. So we'll have some stuff, that we're going to prepare to take advantage of that, really strong quarter, which is late August through about, right before Thanksgiving. But leading up to that time, do what you can to do what you need to do on a daily basis to make your business work for you. Just a couple of announcements real quick before we get into what we've got planned for today. We get distracted very, very easily. So what you want to do is preemptively overcome some of those challenges. During the day while you're working, turn off the social media sites. You want to surf the web less. And you want to concentrate on that income producing activity, conversations, appointments, book meetings. Those are the things that you want to do for yourself that will create the type of business that you actually want and that will attract other people. So instead of just having that stuff up, just close it down if you're not using it, and don't invite yourself to have the opportunity to get distracted. And then if you're doing what you need to on the front side, if you're creating some conversations, some appointments, you have automation most of the time that's reminding people about certain meetings. It's not enough, guys. You need to go over and beyond that automation and remind them, notifications, confirmations, because ultimately what you want to do is you want to increase the percentage of people that show up. You also want to increase the percentage of people that cancel and reschedule over people that don't show up. There's nothing worse than scheduling a meeting, showing up, getting prepared for it, and waiting 10 plus minutes for somebody who doesn't show up. It's a lot better to get a reschedule or a cancel. And of course, if you get your show rate up to a decent percentage, we have the statistics that prove everything else falls into a line for you. One other quick announcement, as you have people coming in or as you're online, seeing some of your partners out there trying to spread a message of financial wellness, financial literacy, don't ignore them. Go in and say, hey, great post. Thanks for posting. Great message. Help your organization out by reinforcing some of your business partners' messages online. Over the next months, guys, the macroeconomic environment is to a point now where we've kind of been preparing for what's occurring right now. You have a chance to 10x this, but what that means is you can't sleep on this. You've got to make an investment into yourself. That means, personal development, identify your deficiencies, work on that stuff, get out there and market. Learn to open, direct, and continue conversations. And then once you do, invest in others to help you build this distribution. Like I said, we're coming to a point after we get past the summer, the best quarter of the year, kind of combine that with what we've got going on. This is an explosive opportunity, but you have to light that fire. You have to make sure that you create the ignition or the spark that's going to get this thing going. Money conversation. It's as important as any time, ever. That's not going to change going forward. We talk about this. Financial wellness used to be a nice to have item in your life. It's imperative going forward, or if we don't have it, we're going to get run over. What we do and our main focus going forward is in two main areas. We're A, going to teach people how money works, and we're B, going to teach people how to become entrepreneurs. With what's going on in this country right now, people need both of these as far as solutions and answers more than ever. So last week, you guys, we talked about marketing, that first stage of your business model and how leads are the lifeblood of your business. As someone who is self-employed or a business owner, you've got to understand, your sources, your expectations, and the actual results from your marketing so you can make data-driven decisions to improve, grow, and scale your marketing as well as your entire business. So this week, like I talked about, we're going to talk about what I've termed exact strategies. And these exact strategies are going to help you in terms of your marketing language or your upfront sales language in a number of different ways. Because yes, the education that we give away, the solutions that will show people, that's all great, but getting people from a general interest into a more defined interest to make these meetings is where the area of concentration for today's meeting is. So remember, you've got a way that we reach people, that's massive. The amount of people that you can reach on a daily, weekly, monthly basis is incredible. So that's an advantage, right? But what you have to realize is that you can't be everything to everyone, and you don't want to be. So even though we can go out and reach so many people, so many different types of people, you want to be dialed into your persona. You want to be attracting the right types of people that you want to work with on the client or partner side, that fit into who you're looking for, that want to help themselves, that fall into that profile, that persona that you've outlined in terms of who you're looking for. You've got to understand when you're speaking to people, especially on the front side of marketing, people are creatures of emotion. So the more that you understand that, and the more that you can get through some of those psychological objections or preemptively kind of overcome those, the easier it'll be to deal with, people, and understanding that this is really about not our products, our benefits, our features, our services. It's about connecting people from A to B. Where are they now? Where do they want to be in the future? How do we get them there? So that comes back to the age-old question, how do I position my product to sell to my ideal customer? Once you identify who your ideal customer is, how are you going to get in front of those people? You're going to have to pick an approach. There's going to be different approaches for different types of personalities. And we've already seen inside this team, it works. Different ways work. So you're going to pick your personality, pick your approach, but it can't be too confusing, especially on the front side. When you're talking to people, yeah, we're taking them through this maze and quickly identifying ways to get from point A to point B, but it's got to be somewhat interesting on the front side, or you've got to be encouraging engagement on the front side. So let me give you an example. If you ask somebody, hey, have you ever, when you were taking a trip with the GPS, when it was giving you directions, have you ever looked for the longest possible route you could to your end destination? No, of course not. That would be dumb, right? Defeats the purpose of the GPS. So why are you doing that with your money? And that will encourage people to continue to talk. Well, what do you mean? I don't understand. But we teach people how money works. And when they start to understand that we come from an educational perspective and a mindset, and then we're also very mission-based, teaching people how money works allows them to get their money right. And when they get their money right, they can enjoy a new standard of living, a desired outcome they actually want to get to, instead of actually just drifting to something unknown. So that all really comes back to the understanding that there's a financial sickness in this country that you have a financial cure for, and the sickness is deep rooted all the way back to misinformation that we've had since we were youth. So you have to understand what you're dealing with, the misinformation that people have, the solutions that you have to offer, but also how are we going to speak to people that actually makes sense and increases that interest to want to know more. Well, you have to understand also that that misinformation, these financial mistakes, are costing lots and lots and lots of money. This is 3 years old, but $307 billion in 2019 just from mismanagement of personal finances. That's how much it cost Americans. So our mission, what we're trying to do, it's worthwhile, it's needed, and people are suffering without it. So as you go out and you're talking to people about money, you have to understand they fear money. They don't really understand money. So you have to anticipate the resistance. Your goal is to get your prospect talking. It's not about you talking and just relaying information over and over and over again until they've just paralyzed themselves. Your goal is to get them talking, because when you get them talking, we talked about this over and over and over again, it allows us to get the information that we need. That uncovers a problem that we have a solution and an action step for. So on the front side, you want to get your prospect talking. You want to sell the appointment. You want to sell the education, not the product or the service. And you do that really by understanding that, on the back end, we have something incredible, something that will really help, something that can take people from a place they are now to where they want to be with the aid of technology. And that allows us to see clearly where they are right now, where they could possibly be, and then most important, give them the step-by-step instructions to get there. So we're going to talk about how do we position ourselves? Well, we position ourselves by sharing things. And what we're going to share with people is the biggest mistakes that most everyone is making. If we're going to share with you the biggest mistake that most everyone is making, don't you think you probably want to know about that so you can avoid that? Because people don't want to be clumped into the masses. The masses aren't doing that well right now. So we want to, going to share the biggest mistake that everyone's making, the things that successful people have present, and without question, the other people that are struggling, they just simply do not. And then we're going to share with you the proven strategy that generates whatever's in your persona, whatever those preconceived goals or motivating factors are. That's what the proven strategy is going to generate for them. It's exact strategies. And this is important because we can take somebody from a point of confusion to a point of confidence. And really, what does that ultimately do? Well, if you want to go from confusion to confidence, that's going to take you from a place where you're really unknown to a place where you're creating peace of mind and control for the future. And what does that exact strategy really represent? Well, it's a 1, 2, 3 design. It creates exact answers. That's what people are looking for, exact answers. That's what I want to know. It works with all different types of situations, and it's based on proven results. So that's what we offer. That's what we share. That's how we design it for you to give you what you're looking for. Because in life and money and finances, fill in the blank, whatever you want to use here, I'm sure you notice that people usually fall into one of 2 categories. So now you're trying to decide what side of the fence are these people on? What side of the fence do they want to be on? And by letting them know there's 2 different types of people, they can start to identify, hey, I don't want to be here. I want to be there. So the number 1 person is the in the dark. These are people that are usually ill prepared. They're unready. They're surprised, and they're blindsided by several variables that life ends up throwing at them. These are people that end up working harder and longer than their money did. Well, I don't want to be in the dark. Do you guys? So you're starting to paint a picture. Hey, if you're in this camp, things don't turn out too well for you. Well, what's the other side? Where do I need to be? Well, you need to be in the empowered camp, because these are the people who have a clear vision and a plan from data-driven decisions, having the knowledge and the confidence to put the plan in place, knowing exactly what's going to happen. Remember, when you remove the obstacles, roadblocks, the blind spots, we can become the empowered, right? So are we going to be in the dark or the empowered? We want to be the empowered. So how do we get there? Well, if we don't get there, we're going to end up being another sad statistic. So here's how you take control. And we've talked to countless people, right, over the past years. It's become very obvious that the empowered, where people want to be, hopefully, they have 2 main and key things in place, while the in the dark category or camp, they have 1 maybe, but they usually have neither. So what are these? It's extremely simple, guys. It's a predictable strategy that creates whatever it is that your potential client, at this point, your prospect, is looking for. Lifestyle freedom, time freedom, financial freedom, whatever it is, freedom from debt, no matter what it is, we got a predictable strategy that can create that. And then the secondary part of the process is, or the secondary thing is, it's a proven process that secures that strategy for the long run with a track record of success. We got the strategy, got the process for the long run with a track record of success. Everything's lined up to create empowerment if somebody chooses to. Because in life, guys, and we have to lay this out for people, it's easy. We understand to get distracted by personal, professional commitments that we have to juggle on a day-to-day basis. But the fact still remains, until you're 100% responsible for 100% of your future, you're never, ever going to be truly free and become what we call the empowered. The empowered, they control their situation. They know the following: how much money, how much time. Once you know those 2 things, the whole plan becomes a lot easier to understand and execute. Looking at somebody's situation, what we can do in a very detailed way is we can create an answer or a solution that gives the confidence and the control the empowered do have. Once we get the solution, we can solve the puzzle. We can show you for free, down to the exact time and money. But it's up to you to take the necessary action steps that we can also help with. So this is a 2-sided commitment. We got a commitment from our side and a commitment from their side. We can't meet halfway in the middle to disqualify her, right? Because you're going to have command and control if you choose with your situation, your money. And if you want to become empowered, you're going to have an important piece that moves you forward no matter what environment. It's also a very important factor, guys. You should be willing and this is where we start to disqualify on the front end before we really get into, you know, any type of education or reports. They should be willing to understand that you have to have a plan of action to reach the expectations and the goal. So remember, a goal without a plan of action is just a wish. So we have to understand that once we present this, show you for free, it's up to you. And part of that being up to you is you have to understand plan of action and execution is expected if we take you on as a client. The truth is, and this is very important, there are some people that we can just not help. If that's the case, we're going to be 100% upfront, honest, maybe suggest an alternative if appropriate. But I'm only looking to work with those people who are an absolute 100% good fit, who I'm absolutely sure I can help get the results for. So we're not looking to help everybody. We're looking to help the people that want to help themselves, that fall into the category or persona that we want to work with. So the first step, really, we need to see two things. I need to see if I can help you, see if I'm the best person to help you get the results that you're wanting and you're looking for. And then secondarily, from my side, I need to see if you're ready to take the necessary action to generate the results for the strategy. Like I said, two-sided commitment, right? We have to understand, we have to see if we can take you on as a client. We have to have the commitment from both me and you to make this work and have you become on the empowered side. Remember, at the end of the day, guys, it's about intention. It's about your intention. It's about the client's intention. We're either going to step forward into growth or step backward into what we call perceived safety, which is just really, as we understand, especially in finances, these are just traps that we fall into. At the end of the day, intention plus action equals magic. But at the end of the day, what we're proposing is not magic. It's math, it's numbers, it's algorithms, it's formulas. So all of this stuff matters. Like I said, we've got some incredible ways that we educate the client on the front side, some incredible ways we solidify that education into their personal situation with detailed reports. But on that front side, got to help people understand, why should they talk to us? What would be the advantage? Because not talking to us, remaining in the dark, is a very dangerous place to be throughout time, but especially going forward. Like I said, financial wellness is not an option, it's a must-have, or you're going to get run over.